Earlier in 2025, we saw the return of the Kobe Protro Wata. I think that is arguably the best Wata colorway ever. I love how that was done. I love the execution on that shoe. And this time we're getting the return of another Wata colorway, but in comparison to the Kobe 8 Wata, I feel like it is much more tame. Nike Kobe 9 High Elite Protro Wata. Now, this shoe was dropping on May 21st for $240 in the United States. And this is the 10th anniversary of this shoe. It originally released in 2015. So what's interesting about this Wata colorway is you don't really see a ton of mismatching between the left and right shoe. For a lot of Wata shoes, they'll take like a ton of colorways in the past and just shove it on each shoe. So a lot of times you'll get a completely different color on the left versus the right, different type of branding. This is super tame in comparison. And first impressions of this shoe, I like it. I know a lot of people don't like the Kobe 9 Elite Highs. I have no problems with it. I am a kid of the 90s, grew up in the 2000s, really became like a teen, young adult during that time, and high cut basketball shoes was still a thing. So there's a bit of nostalgia to something this high. Quick 5 seconds of your time. If you like this video, if you've liked any of my past videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And the shape of the Kobe 9s, it's not my favorite. Kobe 1s and 4s are my favorite, but I think it's very decent looking. It can kind of look goofy if you're wearing this like casually, but on the court, I say go all out. This is a nice looking shoe. I think the tameness of this Wata colorway actually can appeal to a lot of people. Now, of course, the Kobe 9s released in a high version, the Elite High. There was also an Elite Low, and then there's the EM Low, that is the engineered mesh version of the shoe, and I actually just reviewed the Kobe 9 Low EM Mamacita, so if you're interested to know the details of that, definitely check out that review. And the materials on the shoe, on the base layer, it is Flyknit. Flyknit is a pretty flexible material, and in terms of the swoosh itself, that is actually reflective 3M material, and wrapping around like to the heel up to the ankle collar, you get this caging that adds some stability to this shoe, and you also see up close some patterns that is mismatched between the right and left shoe. So on the left shoe, there are like these dots. It might be kind of subtle when you first look at the shoe, but up close, you can definitely notice the difference. And that pattern also extends onto the tongue. So the tongue, it is mismatched as well. Kobe signatures on both, Mamba logo on both, and that Mamba logo, it is like its own piece, so it's not like printed or anything. And the Mamba logo, if you didn't know, that is supposed to represent a sword and its sheath. And on the tag on the inside of the tongue, you'll actually see the colorways that has influenced this shoe. So you see like the Kobe 9 influence, perspective. Now wrapping around to the booty of the shoe, you'll see these 9 lines, of course standing for Kobe 9, but also if you remember, the Kobe 9s actually first released when Kobe Bryant was recovering from an Achilles heel injury. So he tore his Achilles, he wasn't actually able to debut this shoe on court. They had like Lakers players at the time like Nick Young wear the Kobe 9s to showcase it. And the 9 lines here also represent the stitches that Kobe Bryant had to get to fix his Achilles. And this is actually all embroidered and stitched on the heel, nothing printed. And of course up here, you'll see KB 9th. And again, even though this is a Wata colorway, no mismatching on the booty of this shoe. And of course, the most distinct thing about this shoe, it is this huge high ankle collar. And if you didn't know, that is because Kobe Bryant was inspired by watching Manny Pacquiao train in boxing. So he was like, if boxing athletes, they wear like very high ankle kind of shoes, why can't we do it? Of course, Kobe was the one to really popularize like low cut basketball shoes in the NBA. He wasn't the first one, but he definitely made it super popular. And when it came to the Kobe 9s, he was like, I'm gonna hit that rewind. And personally, I don't really mind how it looks, even though I got short legs. This makes me look even shorter, but a lot of people don't like this very high cut. Support-wise, practically and functionally, I don't feel like it really does anything to like really help your ankles. But placebo-wise, just for my peace of mind, I kind of like it. However, one thing about this very high ankle collar, you can get like super sweaty. There's like no breathability to this. It is just hot and gross. And this shoe doesn't come with any extra laces, just these blue laces out of the box. There's actually some reflectiveness to these laces as well. So that's a pretty cool little subtle detail. And the tips on the laces mismatched with orange and bright neon yellow. Again, the 2 laces between the left and right shoe is actually the same, even though it's a Wata colorway. So in terms of just how crazy of what this shoe can get in terms of mismatching, this one is actually pretty tame. Box of the shoe, just a black Mamba Nike box with these snake scales on the texture on the box, black paper with Mamba branding inside. Now in terms of the cushioning for the Kobe 9 Elite High, this is a Protro version of the shoe, so it replaces the old Lunarlon foam with a React drop-in midsole, and React foam is supposed to be more durable and resilient than Lunar foam. However, personally, I've never really loved drop-ins, even though you do sit like directly on the cushioning, so some people really like that, and it gives it a more like low core profile feeling to the shoe. I just prefer, at this age, a little bit more cushioning, a little bit more plushness. It also takes a bit of time to really wear in, to like feel that responsiveness and bounciness on this drop-in. But after that, I think it's pretty well balanced in terms of overall cushioning. And one thing I have to complain about when it comes to the drop-in of this shoe, these patterns that you see, these grooves, it just becomes a pain when you put your feet into the shoe. Like it really holds onto the socks, so you have to like pull your socks while you're stuffing your feet in, otherwise it'll drag the socks down with you. But then there's this high ankle cut here that like prevents you from really holding onto your socks, and it's just, come on. It's annoying as hell. That's my biggest gripe when I'm trying to wear this damn shoe. Now in terms of the traction of the Kobe 9, this is one of the highlights for this shoe. You get this foot mat pattern, and this just provides really good grip. It does take a little bit of time to wear in, and I am someone that's like super stringent on traction. If a shoe doesn't have like just elite traction, it's very hard for me to accept. Kobe 9s definitely have that, and the rubber on this isn't like super thick or super dense, so I definitely recommend you sticking indoors for this shoe. It is a rubber outsole. Also, rocks can get between these patterns, so keep that in mind as well. Now, because it is a Protro version of the shoe, they did update the traction of this. Practically and functionally, I don't know if it makes any difference, but they added this extra line. Just the effort that Nike Basketball puts into the shoe is astonishing. And you might be wondering what these little braille-like dots are on the heel of the shoe. That actually says Masterpiece. That is the Mamba code. And on the medial side of the shoe, it is Vini Vidi Vici. That stands for I came, I saw, I conquered. Now, one big disappointment a lot of people had with the Kobe 9 Protros is the lack of zoom air. So there's no zoom air on the shoe, even though they had a chance to add more responsiveness to it. I would have really liked some heel and forefoot cushioning there too. But no, for $240, you don't deserve zoom air. And there's also no shank plate in the midfoot area. So a lot of basketball shoes traditionally have a shank plate here, whether that's carbon fiber or TPU. Sometimes they'll go full length. Personally, I don't love like full length shank plates. It can feel kind of stiff out of the box. Takes a long time to really get used to and wear in. I prefer like a midfoot shank right here. But in terms of torsional rigidity, it does give you these very solid carbon fiber plates all around the lateral and medial side of the shoe. And I think that works really well for rigidity as well as just containing your shoe when you're doing like side to side movements. Honestly, no problems there. If it had a shank in the midfoot, I think that would be pretty nice too, especially if it helps with kinetic energy return. So when you're really exploding, you want as much energy to bounce back as possible. But yeah, just carbon fiber on the sides. And I think for a lightweight player like me, it works pretty well for support. And in terms of the support on the heel counter here, up top, the TPU heel counter isn't like super solid. But once you get down a bit to the bottom half of the shoe, very nice support there. I've never really had any soreness on the heel when I played with this shoe. Again, I stress I'm a lightweight player, so I don't put a ton of like stress onto my basketball shoes. So support-wise, I don't need the most. The GT Hustle 3, as much as I like that shoe, I did have some problems in the lack of support and strength on that shoe. But apart from that shoe, in recent memory, not many have given me tons of problems in overall support. Now, overall containment-wise, the Flyknit is pretty strong, at least for my weight and my playstyle. I do pretty hard cuts, I drive a lot to the rim. I've never really felt like I was gonna bust out of the shoe. And again, these carbon fiber plates on the sidewalls here really does a good job of containing your feet. And the beautiful thing about carbon fiber, why I love it on sneakers, it doesn't add much extra weight. Super light, super supportive and dense. The base of the shoe is also decently wide. It doesn't have like the most aggressive outrigger, but the wide base helps with stability overall as well. And you see the traction come all the way up onto the sole here. And that's a good thing. If your feet like kind of go this way or this way when you're playing, there's at least some friction to really stop your feet from like sliding and really getting injured. In terms of overall sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. This is one of the rare Kobes where width-wise fits me really well. There's actually a tiny bit of dead space in the toe area. I still wouldn't change my sizing for this. Otherwise, most Kobes comes very narrow and kind of really have to break the shoe in or maybe go up half a size. For the Kobe 9s, it fits me really well out of the box. Lengthwise, no heel slippage. Forefoot wise, very comfortable there. So whether or not you had wide feet, I do still recommend going through the size. If you don't have wide and fat feet and you prefer a narrower feel, I can't really give you a really good recommendation. Definitely get a second opinion on that one. And in terms of overall comfort, just like on feet, the React foam can feel pretty good like walking around, but it is a very low to the ground shoe. Kobe Bryant really prioritized that. He wanted to feel the court. So if you're not used to that, if you're used to like modern day walking shoes or running shoes, when the sole can be like pretty thick, you might kind of feel it hard to adjust to a shoe like this. And if you're wearing these casually, you are ballsy because these are very, very out there. Very out there. And overall weight, even though this high ankle cut gives it a few extra ounces compared to like the low version of the shoe, I think weight-wise, as someone of like the late 90s and 2000s, I can't really complain about weight in modern day basketball shoes. I don't really even think about it because I just know growing up, I had no problems playing in a ton of shoes that had heavier weight than modern day shoes. And Kobe, especially at the time, he was obsessed with shaving every ounce of unnecessary waste. So Kobe Bryant shoes, I've never had a problem with in terms of weight. Kobe Bryant's basketball shoes are still super, super popular for a good reason. A lot of people still really like the performance of the shoes. They still really hold up, and they're just huge fans of Kobe Bryant, one of the most popular basketball players ever. In 2025, would I choose the Kobe 9 High Elite Protro to play in? No. I would still take the Sabrina 2s. I would take probably the new A1s. I would maybe even take the Book ones. I would probably take the Jordan 39s over this. I'm not a huge lover of drop-in cushioning, so that's one big complaint that I have that is more personal to me. I do prefer a more traditional setup. I need more cushioning. I want to feel more plushness to my cushioning at this age. However, in terms of overall support and traction of the Kobe 9s, without a doubt, still holds up. I think Kobe 9 Highs are one of those shoes that's just love it or hate it. You either can accept this high ankle collar and very high cut basketball shoe and you love how crazy and out there it is, or you're just like, this is so stupid. This is goofy. I fall into the love it camp. I have short legs and this makes me look even shorter. But on the court, who cares? You don't really need to care if you look sensible or not. It is your game that matters. I do like that this shoe still exists, still releasing in Protro versions to remind us that Kobe Bryant would have done anything to improve performance. He'll go low, he'll go high, whatever it is to improve his game. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined. Let me know what you think of the Nike Kobe 9 High Elite Protro Water. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come the way your shoes.